What's up, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard back with another episode of Diplomats of the Division. Today is Saturday, May 29th, and as always, I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. As we start the video off, I'd like to take a moment and once again thank you all for your continued support in regards to the series. It's so incredible to see everyone come together and really highlight the people that make this community exactly what it is. Now, if you happen to be new here, first of all, welcome. Secondly, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. And if you enjoyed this, take a quick second and hit that like button. It really does help us out. On that note, my friends, we are going to get right into it today. Here are my conversations with Agent Mab and Goose Cosplay. So my first guest today is known throughout the Division community as one of the best cosplayers out there. I don't really even know how to explain. People are going to be looking at the pictures that you sent me as we speak, but Agent Mabs, thank you so much for being here today.
No, thank you so much for having me. And thank you for doing this for the community. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I mean, I love having just a place where we can celebrate the game and the people in the community and all that good stuff. And the first question I like to ask people that come on the show is, what is it about this game to you that sets it apart from other games you've played in the past?
So I think it's the fact that this game is about a pandemic, which is something we've seen before with numerous games about zombies, but it has no zombies. That's one of the things that stands out for me in the Division. It has no zombies.
Right.
It's just a pandemic taking over the world and people trying to react to that in a very realistic way, I think. So that's one point. And the other thing I think is very special about the Division is that it's a little bit of everything. It's a looter shooter. It has RPG elements. It's an open world. There's PvPvE. There's PvE only for those who don't like PvP.
Like me.
Like me.
I'm like, I just want people to be friends.
Exactly. I know how you feel. And there's a kind of a fashion simulator thing going on too. And also the legendary fact that you have to manage your inventory a lot.
Oh, right. Yes. You have to be really on top of. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. So the fact that you need to just item management, you can't be a hoarder. You want to hoard all of these things. You want to keep all this gear, but you have to
be selective.
Right.
That's like a mini game inside the game for me.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's really tough sometimes because, you know, we are given so much inventory space, but at the same time, you're thinking to yourself, I need more. Like, I need more. And I'm like, exactly. I don't need 300 shotguns. I can let a few go. You know what I mean? Like, yes. I need to start to step back a little.
Exactly. So that's what makes the Division special to me.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Yeah, one thing I hear is that, you know, and it's a very generalized answer, but so many people say there's just something about this game that brings me back. You can go to other games, you can play other games, but then when you jump back into this, you're like, okay, I'm home. Like this is the game for me.
Exactly. I feel that with survival, especially. I'm a huge survival player. I think
my favorite game mode from the first game, without a doubt. Absolutely love it.
Definitely. I think I have like 2,000 hours in the game, and maybe half of that is survival.
That's fantastic.
I play too much.
No, you don't. I mean, I'm saying that because I'm right there with you, but you know, it's a wonderful escape. It's just an amazing game. I mean, I know we can agree on. It's just absolutely, it's unlike any game I've played in the past or since, and just absolutely love it.
It is.
So my next question is, how did you get into this? Like, how did you get into cosplay? And we'll talk specifically for the Division. I don't know if it's something you've done before this game, but how did this begin for you?
Oh, I've done it a lot before this game. First, it wasn't cosplay. It was just me dressing up in my room when I was a kid.
Nice.
I used to do that a lot, and my mom would be mad because I would pick items in the house and just use them for, I don't know, princess dressing or stuff like that.
That's fantastic. She's like, what happened to this? You're like, I'm wearing it.
Exactly. And then she bought me costumes like Ninja Turtles, stuff like that. Yep. And that was the start of something awful for her. And I didn't pick cosplay very early on because I didn't know that it was a thing, actually.
Right, that community existed. Yeah.
and I found out about cosplay going to a convention in France.
Mhm.
And I got so excited. Like, okay, those people are actual adults and they dress up like their characters.
Like, this is fantastic.
Absolutely. I want to do that. I want a piece of that pie.
Oh, I love it.
And so I started dressing up as my first cosplay was Dodak, which is a Japanese game. Well, it's a Japanese multimedia thing. And after that, I went for Final Fantasy 10.
Nice.
And then a lot of other more or less interesting things. I did a lot of Star Wars in Japan. And then I found out about The Division and started playing it. And I was like, what would my agent's story be?
Right. And I think
and I started.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing I hear from, and other people that have been on the show as well. This is something that, and one of my last guests, Trick Dempsey, she was on, and she was saying how one of the things is that it can be anyone. You know, there's that lore behind this game where it's, you know, she said it best, where she's like, no, I haven't been secretly training for X amount of years to become a total badass. But, you know, the call has gone out. My watch has gone off. Yes, I actually have been training, and now I need to go to work. And it makes you think it could really be anyone you know. And I think that's so appealing.
It's very appealing. And it's a very good gateway to cosplay, because a lot of people think cosplay is really difficult.
Right.
And then they see this game. They see that the agent is just a regular dude or dudette. And that there's this quite simple gear that you can go and start with, like buying knee pads or buying a sling bag. You know, you can do that. It's not that difficult. It's not that technical. So you can start there and start building your own props, start trying to customize your outfit. You can do all those things slowly. You can really begin something in cosplay from The Division.
So when you go back to, let's say, the first, you know, outfit you designed for The Division for cosplay, how did you start? Did you go, did you think to yourself, here's my backstory? Or did you think, okay, you know what, was it something as simple as, I'm going to start with the watch, and then I'm going to think about what my character may have gone through and where they, you know, where they started? Like, how did that work for you designing your first one?
Yeah, that was basically, okay, I'll find a watch and then we'll see from there.
Right.
And I picked up the props that I was using in the game. So Support Station and Pulse were my favorites. So I went with that.
Nice.
And then I thought, okay, what else can I do? I really like the striker vest. And my husband just gave me this old bag that he's not using anymore. Maybe I could recycle it into something.
Right.
And then I made a striker vest.
One of the things I've heard about the community in regards to cosplay is that everyone really helps each other out. And I love that feeling. I love that you can go on there, ask questions for people, and regardless of where they may be, you know, as far as their cosplay experience, they're willing to help out.
That is very true. That is very true. I'm getting quite a lot of DMs from people who actually have never cosplayed at all.
Wow.
So they ask questions, and sometimes I don't even have the answer to their question myself, but I know exactly who does. And what is amazing is I can shoot them a DM and they'll be like, oh yeah, I can help them.
I love that. And that to me, you know, and look, I don't know, I know about this game, but that to me is just really makes this game so special, is the community that surrounds it.
Absolutely. I would not be here with you today if it wasn't for a very tight-knit community with very, very welcoming people.
I mean, really. And your work is just, you know, as I'm going through these, I'm looking at these. And one question I want to ask really quick is, looking at all the different locations you use to shoot and whatnot, have you ever encountered like a really weird situation when you're, you know, shooting one of these photo shoots where someone's like, why is this person in full tacky? Like, what's going on right now?
So yeah, that has happened actually. You might have noticed in the pictures that I went to New York.
That's actually exactly what I was going to bring up. I'm like, how did that unfold? I mean, obviously you're in New York, of course, but how did that play out when you're trying to get these amazing shots? I always wonder about that. Was like someone going to say, I need to call someone. Something's going on here.
Maybe it would happen now, but they never were like, oh, I'm going to call the police or something. It was more like curious looks, like, what is she doing? What is that thing on her backpack?
Right.
Is
And I
she
assume because you have a
okay?
photographer, right? They're going to be like, okay, this is for something. They're obviously taking pictures. If it was just you wandering around, I think maybe that would have sent up some more red flags.
I'm not sure because actually I don't really have a photographer. It's just my
Oh.
husband who looks like a tourist and me. We're not like pros. We don't have any special equipment, and it's
Wow.
not really well. You can tell it's a camera, obviously,
Right.
but it's not like we have all the big screens and everything. So yeah, sometimes people just look at me because I'm trying to hide behind something to take a picture, like I'm on, in cover.
Right.
And that happened once in Brooklyn. There were two people talking to each other, and they saw me duck, and they were like, "Huh?"
Like, should we duck too? What do we do?
Yeah, exactly. But it's okay. And most of the time, you just look at them, wave, smile, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, okay, back to my business. I don't care.
I don't need to worry about anything here."
Exactly. And it's also New York, so people are used to seeing weird stuff all the time there.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, she has a hazard bag. Yeah, what's new?
Okay, so what? Who doesn't?
Yeah. Who doesn't?
What, in your opinion, I guess one of the other things I'd like to ask from previous games that you've played, what, in your opinion, separates this community from other gaming communities that you've been a part of before?
It's really how welcoming it is, how everyone he is really willing to help you get the best out of the game, get the best out of anything you like, any element of the game you like. It can be PvP, it can be you like taking pictures in game. Someone will be there to give you insights, to tell you how to better yourself in that area. You like cosplay, there's always going to be someone in the cosplay community to tell you, okay, if you want to do this, this is how you do it. It's incredibly welcoming, and I don't think people realize how important it is that the community is that welcoming with new people. Especially now that it's 5-6 years old now. So I think it's very important that we keep it that way.
It really is. And one of the things I love to hear, or one of my favorite responses, whether let's say if I put out a farming video or whatever it may be, is from people who are saying, just picked up this game, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And I'm thinking, wow, you didn't even play the first one. Like, you're just starting with the second, and there's so much to it. And there's this feeling of community when you play this game. There's that feeling of someone needs help, I want to help them. And again, going back to the interview I had with Trick, when she mentioned that's why they put the shepherding system in the game, is they want people to be there for each other.
Yeah, that was an awesome idea. That was really an awesome idea to have this system.
And I love seeing that spill over into the actual community itself. For instance, for cosplay, for photography, for things like that. It's just amazing.
Absolutely.
This actually leads me into another question I have, which is, what was it like for you to visit massive studios, to sit on the set of State of the Game? Like, how did that happen? You need to talk me through everything, because I have to live vicariously through you. I need to know like details. Like, how did that whole thing happen?
Actually, details I cannot go so much into because I signed an NDA.
Fair enough. Totally respect that 100%. I am bummed out, but I totally get it. Yes.
I mean, there are things I can say, like I was invited to a PC summit. So it's something they have every year to try to improve the quality of their games on PC. So they will have topics about like, how can they improve this part of Uplay? How can they have better controls, or anything you can imagine that would make the experience better for PC players. And I am a PC player. I'm really bad with a controller, and I mean really, really bad.
I'm the opposite. I only play, because I'm on console, I only use controller. I can't imagine using a mouse and keypad or whatever. I mean, it's insane to me. It's unbelievable.
Same with the controller. If I try using it, oh my gosh, I tried to play Division 1 with a controller when I was back in France from Japan, and I didn't have my PC because I was just on vacation. And I think I died like 7 times on the first mission in Brooklyn.
It's so I mean, I even go from, because I primarily play on Xbox, I go from Xbox controller to PlayStation, and I'm still a hot mess. I couldn't imagine going from, computer to a controller. Like, that's the whole new level.
Yeah, I guess it takes some getting used to it.
But you're there for the PC
summit.
Right, exactly. And you're able to take a tour and look around. And was it just absolutely amazing?
It was, I've never experienced anything like this. I was like a kid inside of massive building. Like, they gave me that tour. I was like, oh, I want to stay here and live here forever.
Can I just rent this room? Like, I'll be quiet. You won't even know I'm here.
Yeah. Absolutely. And they have so much tech in there in the state of the game room. That was, wow. Okay, I don't understand what is going on here, but that's awesome. It looks awesome.
That's incredible. That's so great. That's so great. I love hearing that.
And I was so thankful that they told me I could bring my cosplay. I didn't even have to ask. They told me, okay, you could bring your cosplay and, take a few pictures. And while we were walking inside the studio, we met with a lighting artist. And maybe you don't know that, but I'm huge about lighting in games. Like, I'm completely crazy about lighting in games. And I think if I had to go back to the university, that's what I would try to get into.
Wow.
So I met that guy and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best day of my life.
That's incredible. That's so amazing.
But I felt really dumb being in cosplay in front of that person.
Well, it's one of those things, but I have to assume, I would assume it would be amazing to see something that you've created, how people have taken that in and are so drawn into it that they're designing things around something you've created. Probably, I'm sure it was fine. That's my whole point. I'm sure it was. I'm sure that it was very flattering to see something that he helped create, someone dressed as one of those agents. So
thank you for making me feel a little bit better about this.
No, I hear you. You're like, am I like a 6-year-old? Like, does he think I'm trick-or-treating? Like, what's happening right now? I'm in like the grown-up area of the building, and like all of a sudden it's like, oh, look at this kid dressed. No, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I got you. I mean, I have a wizard staff in my office, and every time my wife walks in, she goes, why is that here?
Magic.
I know. I'm like, just in case. By the way, it's here because, yes, it is a full replica from Lord of the Rings, a Gandalf staff. But hey, yeah, no, it's next level.
That is cool.
Yeah. And every time we go on a hike, a little known, I use that on the hike just to embarrass my family. And I love it. And that will never change. Like, that's my walking stick.
You are just one step away from cosplay here.
I know. I've got to get into that. Well, no, I need to. I definitely want to start putting some agent stuff together. And actually, which brings me to my next thing. This is something you do obviously because you love it. You have a talent for it. It's a passion of yours. What are some of the comments that you get from people that follow you that really keep you, motivated to continue to do what you're doing?
It's not so much about comments about my costume or a picture or, well, of course, those are absolutely fantastic. And that's super exciting to get comments for your costumes and for your pictures. But what really makes it for me is when people come in my DMs and ask me, I want to do cosplay. What should I do? Or I saw your cosplay, so I decided to do one. And I went to this convention and here are some pictures. And every time I get those, I swear, I'm not lying. I'm ready to cry because those really get me emotional. I think the most important thing for me in cosplay is how can I say it? Getting people to try it and have fun with it.
To truly enjoy it.
Exactly, because it's very liberating and people don't realize how liberating it is until they've actually put on a costume and gone to a convention. So when they say something like that to me, I'm like, oh yes, one more person enjoying life.
Right. Well, no, it's true. And I've spoken to different cosplayers in the past, not just from this game, but from others. And for so many people, you assume if someone's into cosplay, that they're comfortable in large crowds and they're talking to people and all these things. And for so many people,
no.
it's not the case. And for them, that is their, I don't know how to really explain it, but it's for a lot of people who don't feel comfortable in social situations or certain things. For people, when they actually join this universe, they find themselves doing things they normally would have never done before.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I think it's not so much an armor, but rather a way for people to come to them, because the hardest part, to me at least, when you're very shy, is to go to people who like the same things as you and talk to them and be natural. But if you have a cosplay, people are going to come at you and know that you like this game.
Right.
So it creates a way for you to start talking. And to me, it's really the core of the cosplay experience. People can come to you and talk to you about the games you like, and that's really awesome. It's happened to me so many times in conventions, and I went to a lot of conventions in a lot of different countries. It's always very difficult. It was more difficult when I was in Japan, because obviously there was the language barrier of some sort. I do speak Japanese, but it was, even if you speak the language, right now I'm speaking English, but it's not that easy if you're
right. Well, no, I mean,
if you're shy.
I speak one language and I can barely get through that on a daily basis. So I couldn't even imagine multiple ones. So my final 4 questions that I'm going to ask you, these are questions that I will ask pretty much everyone who's on the show. The first one being, if you had to choose any build that you could run in the game, what would it be and why? Whether it's PvE, PvP, like what is your comfort build that you usually go to?
It's not going to be PvP, obviously, because everyone will destroy me in PvP.
I'm right there. Hey, right there with you. I'm like a scared baby kitten. I run the other way.
Same. But I love the Eclipse protocol with capacitor. How do you pronounce that? Capacitor and Harmony and the Vile Mask.
Yeah.
That's my favorite because I like to play Summit. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm one of those persons who enjoy the Summit.
No, look, everyone has their own. There are people who strictly play one mode or another. No, it's great. And I love the fact that there are so many different choices you have in regards to the type of game you want to play.
Exactly. And this one specifically I love in Summit because you're in a closed space. You know more or less where the enemies are going to appear, so you can burn them. And
I love that.
Yeah, I know that sounded very off character for me, but that's awesome. What I like.
No, I love it. It's funny because every time I do a Summit style build video, at least 1 or 2 or 10 people comment, dude, Eclipse Protocol. Like, what are you doing in the Summit? Eclipse Protocol. Burn everybody. I'm like, I'm really missing out on something here. So my next question is, and I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to this. Have you ever gone rogue in the dark zone on your own and just stolen someone's stuff? Like you see someone, you're like, guess what? I'm going to ruin your day right now.
Okay. Can I get a personal message out right now?
Absolutely.
No, Yannick, I have not been rogue ever. Please check your goddamn files. No, Cylinder, I've never gone rogue. Please check your goddamn files.
I love it. I'll make sure.
Thank you, guys.
No, you're very welcome. Hey, I'll make sure that I'll tag them in the into the description of this, so they know this message is directly for them. Yeah, I haven't done it either. I mean, and I know, look, when you go into the dark zone, it's bound to happen. Like someone's going to do that, so you can't get upset if someone steals your stuff. But for me personally, same thing. I've never just gone rogue and done that.
Yeah, who likes to steal other people's stuff?
Lots of people like to steal other people's stuff. That's for so many people, and that's the allure again of this game. They like to go. I mean, the people would love to see if your character could just be a rogue the whole time. And that's again, I think it's fantastic. It's also something I would do, but it's one of those things where it brings out so many different facets for people in the way they play games. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I personally love to watch people go rogue on Twitch. I don't do it myself, but my little secret is I love watching people go rogue.
Like you're just sitting there with popcorn going, this is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's so great. Next question is this. Have you ever either, and I don't know if you know, either rage quit the game? Have you ever just given up, like not maybe throwing your controller? I don't know. I'm not going to confirm or deny that's ever happened to me before. Maybe it's because someone did steal my stuff. Again, I am not going to confirm or deny that. But have you ever just completely just thrown your hands up and said, you know what, I can't play anymore. I'm walking away right now. Like this is way too frustrating.
I guess I'm too patient for this, but the game has rage quit on me. And that was a terrible story. It happened like a month ago, maybe.
Oh, really?
And I was playing survival. I had a really good PvP session. I had, listen to this, I had killed one agent. That never happens to me. That never happens to me. I'm always the one to die. And this one time, I killed an agent. Hubby and I are doing great. We did almost every, those are not control points, Mab. Landmarks.
Yeah, different landmarks, correct.
We cleared almost every landmarks in the dark zone. We're okay. We're gonna do fantastic. We killed the hunters on every single extraction area.
Wow. How long was the session? How long?
2 hours and maybe 10 minutes or something.
Wow.
But we board the hello and my connection gets lost.
No.
My ISP was doing some maintenance work at midnight, and it was midnight.
Oh my gosh.
It's a nightmare.
That's horrible. Oh my gosh. And had you already boarded the helicopter, or you were in the process of boarding it, or what? It just
I was pressing I think it's F on the keyboard. I was pressing F to try to board it.
Oh my
gosh. And it cut there.
No.
And we tried everything we could to connect back. Like we tried to put the connection on my phone.
Oh my
and
gosh.
have my PC connect to my phone, but the signal was too bad. The signal was too poor, and we could not log again.
I don't even know. I've had, obviously, as everyone, disconnection issues, but never at a moment like that where it's just like all of that work is just funneled to that one spot, and you're literally at the finish line, like you're touching the finish line, and
yeah, that was terrible. That was really terrible.
Yeah,
maybe
that sounds
my
like
worst
a tough
experience.
One. Yeah, and you can't bounce back from that, because like for me, if I'm doing that and that happens to me, I'm not like, okay, I'm gonna get him again. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to have a drink. That's it. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to have a drink and maybe sob for a minute in the corner, and then we'll try again tomorrow. Final question today is this: besides The Division, which is obviously why we're here chatting, what other game from your past has change the way you looked at games entirely, whether from your childhood or something more recent? Like what really changed how you look at video games?
Portal. I don't know if you've played Portal, but it's just a masterclass in every aspect.
Really?
It's so basically it's a puzzle game with a story, and the gameplay is great. It makes you feel like you're thinking out of the box when you're actually just doing what the game wants you to do.
Oh wow.
Everything is hilariously good. Like the humor, the writing is excellent in both games.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I cannot recommend this game enough. And there's such a great aha moment in this game. In the first one, you're basically not a scientist, a test subject to some weird AI.
Oh.
And she makes you do stuff, and you're using a portal gun generator to try and escape rooms. And she comments on everything you do, like, oh, you're so bad at this. And she's so,
it's just good. It's just an amazing game.
It's an amazing game because you've got all this, you get all through those rooms, and at one moment she's like, okay, no, it's over. We've run our tests, and the result of the test is, well, you suck. So we're going to we're just going to dispose of you. And the game is sending you to a certain death, some fire pit, or I don't know how to describe it, but it's fire. You're
something that's not good.
It's really bad. And that's the moment where you go, okay, the game has been asking me to follow directions all along. And now the game is asking me to not follow directions and to flee, to basically escape that crazy lady, that crazy AI. It's so good.
That
It's
sounds really good. Is that a PC only game?
No, I don't think so. I think it was released on every platforms.
Oh, I'm going to check that out. I don't know why.
You need to play those games.
I definitely will.
They're really good.
That's awesome. That's so great. Agent Mab, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time speaking with me today. You are so loved throughout the community. When I first put this idea together, there were names that were thrown at me right away. Yours was with some others were at the top of the list. So thank you so much for taking the time and speaking with me today.
No, thank you so much for doing this first, because it's great to see the community showcased, and you're doing this really in a really, really nice way.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Take care and stay safe, and we will definitely chat again soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Take care. So my next guest today is also well known throughout the Division community in regards to his cosplay. The stuff you put together is amazing. You're known throughout, like I said, I don't even know what words to use to really describe the pictures that people are looking at home right now. It's amazing. Denis, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Sarge, for having me. It's really an honor for me. Let's get started.
Yeah, no, the pleasure's all mine. I mean, and I guess the first thing I'd like to ask is, we're going to get into the cosplay and all of that stuff. Obviously, that's why we're here. Mm-hmm. But as a gamer at heart, just as someone who loves video games, which clearly all of us do, what is it about this game, in your opinion, that sets it apart from others that you've played in the past?
Well, that's a really tough question, because there is a lot of things I would like to highlight, but the most important thing is the community around the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, nothing get me so attached to the game like our community, because when I just started on Twitter mm-hmm. and posted my first thread of pics with my cosplay, people just welcomed me. So I don't know how to describe.
No, I love it. I know what you mean. It's that like you said, a sense of community was amazing.
Everyone was so welcomed. They and I was like shocked, because I was no one knowed me, but people just said me, "Yo, man, this is great cosplay. So here's a few links to the people you should tag. They will notice you." So not just not just saying good stuff about my cosplay. They not just appreciate it, but they helped. Mm-hmm. They shared the useful links to developers, to the people involved in the game, mm-hmm. and they helped me. So community helped me to become a star player. Right. Without them, it definitely gonna be way harder.
Right. You don't know if it's going to happen. Right. No. And one of the most reoccurring themes I hear from everyone that I talk to about this game, it's this community that just separates this. I mean, the game is amazing, obviously, but it's the community that it's just incredible.
Yes, you're right. And this is what attached me to this game. Not mostly its mechanics, mm-hmm. Authentic New York, authentic DC, but the people. When mm-hmm. I play this game, I think about people around this game.
Right.
I associate my game experience with these people. I interact with it's the cosplayers, of course.
Mm-hmm. So of course,
I can say that some of them, like my SHD family, like we're all agents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In a distress, no matter what, I know they will come and help me. So.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. It's a brotherhood, a sisterhood of just all these people getting together. Right. And yes, it is based around that game, but like I was saying a moment ago, from so many people I talk to, there's that feeling of, for instance, this may sound strange, but we've never spoken before this moment. Like, we started talking 2-3 minutes ago, but I feel like I know you because of the work that I've seen that you do, and because of your presence in the community. It's like, I know this guy. Like, I know him. I follow his work. I see what he's done. More importantly, I see how you bring the community together, and it's just amazing to see.
Yeah, you're definitely right. It's that feeling I think the most of us have. It's like, I never met Agent Mab. I mm-hmm. never met Dot. I never met Captain Craig. If
Oh yeah, no, these are all people, by the way.
I hope I pronounce them right.
No, it's fine. And yeah, no, and these are lists of people. I mean, Agent Mab is on the exact same episode you're on right now, obviously, as I mentioned, but all of these other people you've mentioned, I'm reaching out to as well. It's just, you see how tight knit it is, and it's absolutely wonderful.
It's the game that binds us.
Yeah,
it's really amazing to see that, because I never had anything like this with other games. And to be honest, the Division game and community, the Division community, it's the first one like this.
Mm-hmm.
I never had a community like this around me. I never feel attached before the Division to any game,
right?
Because of the community.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. Yeah,
most of the experience was like, okay, I'm finished that game. Let's move to another one. But with this game, it's the community. I'm repeating myself.
Well, no, you are. But it's funny because there are so many questions that I'm asking you and so many things I'm saying to you that I said moments ago when I interviewed Agent Mab. But there's something about this game that draws you back. You can go to play another game, but no matter what, like for me, I have to get my time in the Division every day. Like, not have to. It's not like I'm going to be shaking or freaking out or anything, but I want that time, even if it's just to help another player out, or if it's to put together a video or just do whatever. I love my time in that game because of, like you said, the community and the people around it. So my next question for you is this, and I've seen other cosplay you've done for Days Gone and things like that. Can you remember the first, I mean, how did you get into this? And can you remember the first, agent outfit, if you will, that you put together?
Well, the first agent outfit I put together was a crappy one, if I may say so.
Yeah. I'm sure it was amazing to others. I'm sure your idea of what doesn't look good, other people are like, oh my gosh, it's amazing.
No, to compare with other people on the convention, that was crappy. And we had it's strange, but we have a negative feedback about this costume. But
really,
this feedback helped us, me and Vinny Kanga, my partner.
Right.
So it helped us to grow what we did before. So we upgraded. We took that hit, and this hit helped us to become even better, to make costumes even better.
Right.
I think it's that time when you can take the negativity and use it to your advantage.
Exactly. You use that as, more like, right. Instead of it's taking it and using it as constructive instead of criticism. They're like, this is okay, well, they're referencing this. Maybe I should do a small move here or there, which ultimately changes everything.
Yeah, right. We not just lay down and cried about being crappy. We decided that, we're crappy, but we need to improve. So we did. We changed, I basically changed everything except maybe beanie and the Division Go Bag.
Oh wow! So you did a complete overhaul. You went, okay, I'm keeping the bag, I'm keeping the hat. Everything else is changing.
Yes, everything else is changing. I changed my signature brown jacket. I changed my pants to the better one, cargo pants. I changed my boots. I changed it to the better ones with a metal plate on the front. It's behind the skin, but it's there. So I just wanted to make it wearable, and after we did that, we took a part at Airsoft game. So we not just improved our costumes, but we tested them for survivability.
No, that's awesome.
Making it more authentic. Yes, I was using another jacket because I don't want the brown one to tear apart.
Right.
So I used the crappy one. I just bought on a flea market the cheapest one I could find.
Right.
So it was so worn, so torn that I don't need to make any weathering on it at all. So it was already weathered, already.
It's ready to
worn.
go. It's been agent
ready
approved.
To go. Yeah, right. Agent approved. So yeah, and after that we just tested out costumes in a field.
That's so great. That's so great to hear. And how long, this is something I've asked every cosplayer that's been on here. I'm assuming, because I've never designed something before. And as I said earlier, one of the best things about the community is you can have, I'm a fan of yours. I've never made something in cosplay, but I admire and see your work all the time.
Thank you.
For me, I guess my question is, when you're designing something, is it more of an evolution? Like there's no start and finish. I don't know if you have multiple agent outfits, or is it something that you have this idea and it just kind of evolves as time goes on, and it's nothing that's really like there's really no start or finish to it, I assume.
In some point, you're right. There is always something you can improve, but not to get dragged in that chase for perfect look.
Right.
You just have to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
So that what was happened with our costumes. We stopped at some point. So as you may recall, I made a video, the Division End game, that a little bit 5-minute action sequence we did. So, and it called the End Game, not just because it was like a final showdown when we fight, but it has a meaning. It had a meaning,
right?
Because after that, I announced that we're done with these costumes. We stopped wearing them. We stopped making any projects with them, and we switched to the Division 2 costumes.
Got it.
They are still in progress. Yeah, it took us a lot of time, but
there's so much detail, and and as you and I are talking, people at home are looking at the pictures, and I mean, they're just beautiful. Like, it's amazing to see the detail, not only in the costume, but the manner in which the photos are being taken. It reminds you, and of course it does, but it reminds you of the game, like the movement, the posture.
Yeah, we tried to do that, and huge props goes to our friends who are behind the camera. It's like 50-50, like 50% it's we, and 50% it's like their work. It's not just us being models, it's work in synergy with the photographer. So you shown him the reference pictures, what you want, and after that, when you're on location, you probably saw some. I send you like lots of pictures and with from underground photo shoot, and it's like this one was the most, I think, the closest we get to the Division look.
Right. That's so great. And this actually leads me to another question. For people who are just starting off in wanting to get into cosplay, are there any tips you can pass along? Like, how would you recommend people just start off, if you will?
Yeah, I have a very good tip. Actually, I did that. I started with a simple costume. So my first costume was Aiden Pearce from Watch Dogs.
Okay.
And with this costume, you just need to buy the right outfit. You don't need to craft something, waste your time on weathering or other things, or design something. So you can have a starter pack taste of what it's gonna be for you when you start to
get to that next level. Right. Exactly.
Yes. So, and if you don't like it, you just can go away. You're pretty much losing nothing. So if you don't like it, you can just wear it like your everyday clothing, and nobody even will expect that you in a cosplay pieces.
Right.
So it's
it's starting off small and learning the craft, and then eventually, as you gain more and more experience, you're going to feel more comfortable, trying out different things.
Right. And along that, you also will get useful connections. You start to know which photographer you get and with whom you don't want to work.
Right.
It's just about the path. Yeah. And what connections you make along this path, what skills you get along this path. So, you start simple, and then you grow a little bit with each costume.
One of the other things I've heard from every cosplayer that I've talked to is that this Division community is so supportive of people just starting off with cosplay. Like I think everyone has pretty much mentioned the fact that they were starting off, they reached out to someone who they, admired their work. Those people immediately gave them tips and, talk to this person and do that. And I love to hear those stories.
You probably saw our quarantine challenge video, like when we throw in SHD stuff all around the screen.
Yep.
And another cosplayer popped up, and so on, until we get our Keener final scene. So this project, like when I assembled people, I had an idea. And I had like few templates for what we're gonna do, how we're gonna interact with each other. But when I asked other cosplayers to get involved, they actually helped. So what I'm trying to say, that you are referencing to the help, that community are really helpful, they're really responsive. So yes, that's what happened with this project. I asked for the help. I asked people to get involved, and we created this together. So it's not just my video. I may reference it, but I'm always remember that this video came out that way because of the people involved. So some ideas, like the final scene, it was just all the captain's scene. He made this, and he think of stepping on the screen like the final step to end this video. And it was his idea.
Right.
Like you may remember that at one scene there is a hunter who chopped out, who chopping out the hand and throwing it away.
You don't forget that scene. You don't forget that.
And it was all the. It also was an improvisation from this hunter. It was Kami 666, if I recall it right. And with the splinter shield, he just crushed the grenade with his hand like it's nothing. It's also was his idea.
Right.
So,
and I love hearing that. I mean, I love
as
the
you can
fact
see,
that,
everyone make a contribution to this project with their ideas. So there is a lot of things I can say about this project. It's like just it was a dream project for me, because people just. It's a good thing when you end the project by yourself without complications, but it's another thing when you end the project without complications and with help from others who
and you have so many creative minds. And what I love to hear is that the mindset is that of a collaboration, not a competition. When you have people competing with each other, it's not enjoyable. You can see it's like you're not doing anything.
Nothing good came out from this.
But when it's a collaboration, you get exactly what you guys made together, which is just absolutely amazing. My final question before I get into a series of 4 questions that I ask everyone who comes on the show is, this is something you obviously do because you're passionate about it. Can you give me an example of some of the comments that you get from players that are, people who follow you that really keep that motivation going for you?
It's not about comments. It's not about right here and right now.
Right.
It's about recognition amongst the community that comes afterwards. I mean, even that we are speaking right now, it's because Dot highlighted me on your question. It's like recognition from him, from others who supported this, his list of people in the community. And for me, it what comes after what you did.
Right. The last 4 questions I'd like to ask you today are 4 that I'm going to ask everybody that's on this show. And my first one is, if you had to choose one build to run in this game, PvE, PvP, what build would you land on? Like, what's your comfort build? What would you go to?
So I'm not a PvP player, like, at all.
Yeah,
so
same
it's
here.
gonna be a PvE build. And because of people like you, like Kamikaze Von Doom, like Upmacho and others who posted their builds, I can't remember all of them.
Right.
But because of these people, I made my own build. Like it was based on different tips that you gave us.
Right.
So I found this build like comfortable for me and for solo and for playing in a group.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of multitask build.
Nice.
It's just starting like, let's just start with a specialization. It's a firewall or gunner, because
Nice.
with a firewall you have just a little bit of control when you get your armor destroyed. So when you when everyone around you starts on fire,
Right.
so it gives you a little bit of breathing room to get down the right cover, to change your armor plate and continue with the skirmish.
Mm-hmm.
Or a gunner, because like with when you go on the higher levels, when you play on the higher levels, you always need an extra ammo, if you
Yep.
if you know what I
Absolutely.
mean.
Yep.
So gunner give you that opportunity, restocking your ammo in a time. And I'm just a assault rifle guy.
Nice.
So for me, just using the skills, not the skills, I mean
The talents that are on the
talents. Yes, the talents. It's basically like crit hit damage,
mm-hmm.
crit hit chance, and the things like the brands like that pops up your crit hit
Right.
crit hit
Exactly.
damage. So you like becoming a glass cannon, but what I'd like to use, it's obliterate on body armor.
Such a great talent. Oh, that's good.
If I recall this right, it's the one with the fist, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, and the strained on every gun I use. Solo on this for this build is like, and with this build, like the longer you shooting, the more damage. Yeah,
yep.
The more damage you imply. You're a little bit squishy. Oh no, not a little bit. You're like just a foil paper.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're made out of paper. Exactly. But yes, again, it's that balance where a lot of the time people have so much armor, but they don't have enough weapon damage. So even if you have 2 million armor, if it takes you too long to, take out an NPC, your character's dead anyway. You have to have that weapon damage as well. It has to be that balance.
Yes, for this build, I preferred a weapon damage over the survivability.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, Firewall give you that piece of survivability you need, especially when you extracellular matrix mesh talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When your armor recovers 200 times over 10 seconds. So you can take extra damage while during this 10 seconds.
Got it. Yeah, that's a great build. I love it. I love it. I love it. Next question is this, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer based on you're saying that you're a strictly PvE player, but have you ever gone rogue in the dark zone before and taken someone's stuff? Like just said, you know what? Nope, I'm taking your stuff.
Nope, you're going to be surprised. I did that.
You did? No way.
Yeah,
that honestly, that does surprise me.
Yeah, I'm feeling like a dick here, but
hey, that's what it's for. You can't know. The dark zone is for taking people's stuff. If you don't want your stuff taken, don't go in. But
it's
please
how
continue.
You act during this. And I was like, screw it. I'm going to do this. People did this to me several times, and I want to find the weakest player on the server and be his nemesis.
Oh, you were hunting him. Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, and I did that. I just stalked the player I found.
Oh, that's so funny.
The player I could beat up with my build. I used actually that was a face tank build with the shield, just a classic one when you pop the shield with your assault rifle.
Yep.
And you just try to over damage your opponent. So
that's so
that
funny.
was, I used that build on the guy, and he was coming at me again and again to get that revenge because I killed him. I took his loot, and I stood there.
You were taunting him. You were just waiting.
Yes.
See, you're killing.
I'm sounding
so
like
funny.
a dick here, but believe me, this was so satisfying.
Right?
I did that just one time. Not one more time. I never gonna be doing that again because I know how it feels.
That's so funny. That's funny. That's happened to me before. That's usually, well, I mean, we'll get into that. I have stories because there's certain things you don't forget, but it happens
with me every time I'm trying to just roam a bit in a dark zone. I always found that nemesis of mine, the guy who stalked me.
That's so funny.
Or just the guys who roaming around that top checkpoints or top marks
Mm-hmm.
who are farming, and
Right.
and they not letting you to do that because there is a chance you can steal their loot.
Wow.
So I'm pretty, that was a satisfying experience.
Yes, I think it's fantastic. I love it.
I'm sounded like a dick, maybe.
No,
I'm
not at all.
repeating
No,
myself,
look,
but I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that.
It is part of the game. It is there for a reason. I talk to so many players where we're at the core of it, depends on your own perception of the game, but people love the PvP aspect of this game. They want to join a group, they want to steal loot, they want to have fun, they want to joke around, and then that's it. And then you have other people who just want to do the PvE thing, and people who have a balance. So again, that is something everyone does at one point, except for, well, no, have I done that? I don't think I have. But anyway, you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
No, yes, that is what it's there for. Final question today, my friend, is besides The Division, can you name a game that changed how you looked at video games entirely? And this could be something from your childhood. It could be something more recent. Like, what for you changed the way you actually looked at gaming?
Well, can I name not one, but several games?
Absolutely.
So let's start with the Knights of the Old Republic. So This game showed me that games have a replayability behind them. Before that, I was just a really casual kid who played game once and never came back to it.
Right. You go through the story, you're done, that's it.
Yes. But with Knights of the Old Republic, I replayed this game for about 5 or 6 times.
Wow.
When it came out.
Yeah, it's a good game. Man, that's a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game, and I just enjoyed it. Of course, as a kid, I was playing with some mods on my from starting from the third playthrough, I guess. My favorite one was with when you get the lightsaber from the beginning. Right. And the second game for me was Left 4 Dead series. It just showed me that playing as a team is important, because in Left 4 Dead, when you're playing, you playing always with 4 people, but if you playing distanted from these people,
right,
you're not working as a team.
Yeah,
you're never gonna reach that final level, that first final level when you on top of the hospital, when you scream into your friends like, hold the line, don't stop punching, I need to reload, change me.
I hear so many people that love the Left 4 Dead series. Like, it's just like yourself, it just changed. Yeah, it was a game changer for them.
It's like changed the way how I'm looking at players, how I look at the people with whom I'm playing. It's like, it's really important to be respectful.
Yeah.
Of course, to be cooperative and always to listen.
Right.
While you're playing in a team. Of course, you can have a run with your friends, like not an important run.
Right.
Like you boot up every mission in the Division and you just make a sweep. But when you're playing serious,
right,
you got to you should not forget about these 3 things I just named before.
Yeah.
And I think the last game for me, it was Call of Duty 4.
Really?
Modern Warfare.
Nice.
It just showed me how good can be competitive games. Before this game, I never were attracted.
Right.
I never attracted to competitive games, to the PvP shooters. I'm still not a huge competitive person when it comes to the games, but because of Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 especially, I discovered that competitive games can be just fun.
Right.
It's like
you can enjoy it. It's part of the
you can enjoy it. You
right?
Don't need any tactics. You don't need nothing. You just everyone references it to the Call of Duty, like a chicken without head running around the arena.
Right, just going crazy.
Yeah, just going crazy. And the Call of Duty showed me that.
That's so great. And Denis, once again, as I wrap this up, I want to thank you so much for taking the time, speaking with me today. You're such a staple in this community. People love your work. And, once again, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Greybeard. I'm really sorry for my stutters, for my language problems.
Oh, you're flawless.
I know. I'm not perfect one when it comes to tenses, and I hope the people who gonna listen us won't be having a ear bleeding.
No, everyone's going to be fine. I mean, you sound
not.
fantastic. I always think I sound like a hamster with like a head cold. Like I hate how I sound. So again, we are fine. Thank you so much for being here. Take care, and we will definitely be chatting again soon.
Can't wait for that. Thank you.
Take care, my friend. And with that, my friends, I'm going to wrap up this episode of Diplomats of the Division. However, I want to take a moment and thank both of my guests, Mabs and Denis. You are both amazing, and I sincerely appreciate the time in which you took to speak with me today. And I know I said this at the beginning of the video, but I'd also like to thank all of you for being so supportive of this series. This thing came together really quick, and the way you've, just been, it's just been amazing, and I'm so thankful that you're all becoming part of this amazing family that we have here. Like I said at the beginning of this thing, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.